The history of slavery. Slavery is one of the darkest chapters in human history. It was a brutal and barbaric institution that inflicted immense suffering and humiliation on enslaved people. Slavery dates back to ancient times and has existed in all parts of the world. In Africa, Asia, Europe, and the Americas, slavery was once prevalent. In Africa, slavery was common in many tribes and kingdoms. Slaves were often prisoners of war or criminals, but sometimes they were also acquired through kidnapping or purchase. Slaves were used for a variety of labor, including agriculture, mining, construction, and domestic work. In Asia, slavery was also widespread. In China, slavery can be traced back to the Shang Dynasty, 1600 to 1046 BC. Slaves were often prisoners of war or criminals, but some also became enslaved due to debt or poverty. Slaves were used for a variety of labor, including agriculture, mining, construction, and domestic work. In Europe, slavery was also common in ancient times. In ancient Greece and Rome, slaves were an integral part of society. Slaves were often prisoners of war or criminals, but some also became enslaved due to debt or poverty. Slaves were used for a variety of labor, including agriculture, mining, construction, and domestic work. In the Americas, slavery was introduced by European colonizers. Colonists trafficked enslaved Africans to the Americas and forced them to labor on plantations and in mines. Slavery in the Americas lasted until the mid-19th century, when it was finally abolished. Slavery inflicted immense suffering and humiliation on enslaved people. Slaves were deprived of their freedom, forced to labor, and often subjected to beatings and abuse. Slavery also created racial discrimination and inequality, which had long-lasting negative effects on society. The abolition of slavery was a long and difficult struggle that required the efforts and sacrifices of many people. The abolition of slavery marked a turning point in human civilization, laying the foundation for freedom and equality for all.